If you've been
지난
taking a
1년
blood
동안
pressure
매일
pill
아침
every single
혈압약,
morning for the past
암로디핀,
year,
로사르탄
amlodipine,
또는 리시노프릴
losartan or
복용해왔다면
lisinopril,
그
how
약이
confident
지금
are you
당신의
that you truly
몸속에서 어떤
understand what
작용을
that pill
하는지
is doing
제대로
inside your
이해하고
body
있다고
right
얼마나
now?
확신하십니까?
Not what the label says,
라벨에 적힌
not the one
내용이나
sentence
약사가
your
봉투에
pharmacist
적어준
printed
한
on the
문장이
bag.
아닙니다.
I mean, actually
제가 말하는 건
understand it,
약을
the way it
제대로 이해하는
works,
겁니다.
the way it can
약이
quietly
어떻게
turn on you under
작용하는지,
the right
특정
conditions,
조건에서
and the
어떻게
warning
조용히
signs that
당신을
separate a
공격할 수
minor
있는지,
inconvenience from
그리고
a
사소한
situation that
불편함과
requires urgent
응급치료가
medical
필요한
attention.
상황을 구분하는
Most people
경고
I
신호를
talk
아는
to,
겁니다.
educated,
제가 이야기를
careful,
나눠본
people who
대부분의
manage their own
사람들, 즉
finances
교육
and read
수준이
the
높고
news,
신중하며
pause when I ask
스스로
that
재정을
question,
관리하고
and that
뉴스를
pause
읽는
tells me
사람들은
everything. A
제가
quick
그
note
질문을
before we
하면 잠시
begin. This
멈칫합니다.
video is
그리고 그
educational,
멈춤은 제게
not
모든
medical
것을
advice.
말해줍니다.
Nothing here is
시작하기
meant to
전에
replace
간단히
your relationship with the
말씀드리겠습니다.
prescribing
이
physician
영상은
who
교육
knows your full
목적으로
history.
제작되었으며
Do not change
의학적
any
조언이
dose,
아닙니다.
hold a
이
dose, or
영상의
stop
어떤
a
내용도
medication
기하에
based on
전체
this video.
병력을 알고 있는
Bring your
처방
questions
의사와의
to the person
상담을
who wrote
대체할
the
수
prescription.
없습니다.
The
이
goal of
영상을
what follows
참고하여
is to
약의
help you walk
복용량을
into that
변경하거나
conversation better
복용을
prepared,
중단하거나
never to
약 복용을
substitute for
취소하지
it.
마십시오.
Because here is the
궁금한
thing,
점은
these
처방전을
aren't weak
써주신 의사에게
medications, these
문의하십시오.
aren't vitamins.
이 영상의 목적은
Amlodipine,
의사와의
losartan, and
상담을 더 잘
lisinopril
준비할 수
are
있도록
powerful
돕는
drugs
것이며
that change how your
절대
heart,
의사와의
blood vessels,
상담을
and kidneys
대신하는 것이
function every
아닙니다.
single day.
문제는
Yet millions of
이것입니다.
seniors take
이것들은
them on
약한 약이
autopilot,
아닙니다.
with very
비타민도
little
아니고요.
understanding of what to watch for,
암로디핀,
what to
로사르탄,
avoid, or when
리시노프릴은
something that
심장,
feels ordinary
혈관,
is actually
심장의
a signal
기능을
your
매일
body is trying
변화시키는
to send.
강력한
Today,
약물입니다.
I'm going to change
그런데도
that.
수백만 명의
I'm Dr.
노인들이 이
Richard,
약들을
and this
무의식적으로
channel exists for
복용하면서
one
무엇을
reason,
주의해야
to
하고
give you the
무엇을
kind of
피해야
clear,
하는지
practical,
혹은
honest health
평범하게
information
느껴지는
that too
증상이
often gets
사실은
left out
몸이
of a
보내는
10-minute
신호인지
doctor's
제대로
appointment.
이해하지
Before we
못하고
dive in,
있습니다.
drop your
오늘
name
저는
and
그
where you're
상황을
tuning in
바꾸려고
from.
합니다.
I go through the
저는 리처드
comments and I want to
박사입니다.
know who I'm
이
speaking
채널은
with.
단 하나의 목적을
Walter's
위해
story.
만들어졌습니다.
Walter was
바로
74,
10분짜리
a
의사
sharp,
진료에서
methodical
너무나 자주
former
빠져나가는
engineer. He
명확하고
took his
실용적이며
medications
정직한
exactly as
건강 정보를
prescribed,
여러분께
never missed a
제공하기
dose.
위해서입니다.
His
본론으로
daughter had set
들어가기
up a
전에
weekly pill
성함과
organizer
어디에서
labeled
시청하고
Monday through
계신지 댓글로
Sunday, and
남겨주세요.
Walter treated it like a
댓글을
project
확인하면서
schedule.
누구와
When his
이야기하고
doctor
있는지
added
알고 싶거든요.
amlodipine to his
월터의
regimen,
이야기.
Walter figured one
월터는
more blood pressure
74세였고
pill, same category,
꼼꼼한
different
전직
name, no big
엔지니어였다.
deal.
그는
That
처방받은 약을
assumption
정확히
almost cost him a
복용했고 한
productive
번도
year of his
빼먹은
life.
적이 없었다.
3 months later,
딸이 월요일부터
Walter's feet had
일요일까지
changed
적힌
so
주간
much
약
that he
정리함을
could not
만들어
fit into any
주었는데
of his regular
월터는
shoes.
그것을 마치
His legs
프로젝트
felt heavy by
일정표처럼
4 in the
여겼다.
afternoon.
의사가
He
그의
started
처방에
limiting how much he
암로디핀을
walked
추가했을 때
because moving around
월터는
made it
혈압약
worse.
하나 더 먹는
He told
것일
his
뿐
son he thought
같은
his
종류의
circulation
이름만
was
다를
failing.
뿐이니
He was
대수롭지
scared.
않게 생각했다.
He started searching
그 오해
online for
때문에
heart
그는
failure.
인생에서 가장
The real
생산적인
answer
한
was
해를
much
잃을
simpler
뻔했습니다.
and much more
석 달
manageable.
후
But
월터의
Walter
발은
didn't
너무
know
많이
it
변형되어
because
평소
nobody had
신던
ever
신발이
explained to
하나도
him
맞지
that
않게
amlodipine,
되었습니다. 오후
losartan, and
4시만 되어도
lisinopril
다리가
are not the same
무거워졌습니다.
kind of drug.
움직이면
They all
상태가 더
lower blood
악화되는
pressure.
것 같아 걷는
That is
양을
where the
줄이기
similarity
시작했습니다.
ends. Amlodipine
아들에게
is a
혈액순환이
calcium
안
channel
좋아지는 것
blocker.
같다고
It works
말했습니다.
by relaxing
그는
the walls
두려움에
of your
떨며
blood vessels,
인터넷에서 신부전에
specifically
대해
the smooth
검색하기
muscle inside
시작했습니다.
arteries, so
진짜
blood
해답은
flows with
훨씬
less
간단하고
resistance.
훨씬 다루기
Lisinopril
쉬웠다.
is an ACE
하지만
inhibitor.
월터는 그걸
It blocks
몰랐다.
a specific enzyme in your body that normally
암로디핀,
tightens blood
리시노프릴이
vessels.
같은
By
종류의 약이
blocking that
아니라는 걸
enzyme,
아무도
pressure
설명해
comes
준 적이
down.
없었기
Losartan
때문이다.
is an
세 약
ARB,
모두
an
혈압을
angiotensin
낮춘다는
II
점은
receptor
같지만
blocker. It
공통점은
works at a similar
거기까지였다.
step in the same
암로디핀은 칼슘
system,
채널
but through a slightly
차단제입니다.
different door,
이 약은
which matters
혈관벽,
more than most
특히
people
동맥
realize.
내부의 평활근을
3 different
이완시켜
mechanisms,
혈액이 저항
3
없이
different side
흐르도록
effect
작용합니다.
profiles, 3
리시노프릴은
different things to
AC하고
watch for.
멈춰있어
When you understand that
체내에서 혈관을
distinction, you
수축시키는
stop
특정
interpreting
효소의
your
작용을
body's signals
차단하여
with a
혈압을
one-size-fits-all
낮춥니다.
lens.
로사르탄은
Walter's swelling
ARB,
was not
즉
heart failure.
안지오텐신
It
2
was
수용체
amlodipine doing
차단제입니다.
exactly what
동일한
amlodipine
시스템의
does in a
유사한
meaningful
단계에서
percentage of the
작용하지만
people who take
약간
it,
다른 경로를
relaxing
통해
arteries more
작용하는데
effectively
이는
than
대부분의
veins,
사람들이
which causes
생각하는
fluid to
것보다
pool in
훨씬
the lower
중요합니다.
legs. Once
세
that
가지
was
다른
identified
작용
and
기전,
addressed with
세
his
가지
doctor's
다른
guidance,
부작용 양상,
Walter was back
그리고
in
세
his
가지
walking
다른
shoes within
주의사항.
weeks. The
이러한
name on your
차이점을
bottle is
이해하면
not just
더
a
이상
label,
모든
it's
경우에
a category.
획일적인
And
관점으로
the category
신체의
tells
신호를
you the
해석하지
pattern.
않게 됩니다.
Amlodipine, the swelling
월터의
mechanism.
부종은
Let's
신부전
talk about
때문이
that swelling
아니었습니다.
more specifically,
암로디핀이
because it
복용하는
is one of the
사람들
most
중
widely
상당수에서
misunderstood
나타나는
side effects
것처럼
in all of blood
동맥을
pressure
정맥보다
medicine,
더
and it
효과적으로
affects a meaningful
이완시켜
number
다리의
of people
체액이
taking
고이는 현상
amlodipine. Here's what
때문이었습니다.
actually happens,
의사의 지시에
explained
따라 이
simply.
원인을
When
파악하고
amlodipine
치료하자.
relaxes the small arteries in your legs, blood flows in more freely, but the veins, which carry blood back up to the heart, don't relax in the same way, so you get an imbalance, more blood coming in than going out. Pressure builds up in those tiny vessels near your ankles and feet. That pressure eventually pushes fluid out of the vessels and into the surrounding tissue. The result, puffy ankles, socks that leave deep marks, shoes that stop fitting, legs that feel heavy and full by late afternoon. This is not fluid retention from eating too much salt. This is not your kidneys failing. This is not heart failure starting. In most cases, it is a predictable physiological response to how amlodipine works. Now, here is the part that becomes dangerous. Not the swelling itself, but how people respond to it. Some see the swelling and decide on their own to stop the medication without telling anyone. Their blood pressure climbs back up quietly while they feel like they made a sensible decision. Others keep taking the medication but start avoiding water because they believe they are retaining it. That is the wrong direction entirely. Dehydration on a calcium channel blocker carries its own risks. Some, like Walter, simply endure in silence for months, reducing their activity level, assuming the worst, and losing quality of life unnecessarily. The right move, the one I want you to remember, leg swelling on amlodipine is a conversation your doctor needs to know about. Not because the drug is necessarily wrong for you, but because there may be adjustments, alternatives, or strategies that make it far more manageable. Elevating the legs, adjusting dose timing, or reconsidering which medication fits your body best. Those are real clinical options, but none of them happen if you suffer in silence. If you or someone you know is taking amlodipine, drop a comment below. Have you ever noticed that heavy swollen feeling in your legs by the end of the day? You might be surprised how many people are quietly going through the same thing. Lisinopril, the cough and the emergency. Now let's talk about lisinopril and the most notorious side effect in the ACE inhibitor family, the cough. Not a wet cough, not a productive cough, a dry, scratchy, relentless tickle in the back of your throat that tends to be worse at night and does not respond to cough drops, lozenges, antihistamines, or anything else in your home pharmacy. Here's what makes this one so tricky. It often does not start immediately. Some people develop it within the first week. Some take 3 or 4 months before the cough appears. By that point, the connection to lisinopril never crosses their mind. They have been on the medication for months without issue, so they blame dust, allergies, a lingering irritation after a cold, or acid reflux. I want you to meet Evelyn. She was 71, an avid gardener, and she assumed her cough was from spending time outdoors during pollen season. Late spring when it started made the timing seem completely logical. She used antihistamines. She bought an air purifier. She mentioned it to her primary doctor, who ordered a chest x-ray that came back clear. 6 months later, the cough was still there. Her sleep was disrupted almost every night. She was tired, irritable, and starting to believe something serious was being missed. When she came to see me, one of the first questions I asked was, when did you start lisinopril relative to when the cough appeared? She went quiet, pulled out her phone, and started doing the math. She had started lisinopril 11 months before our visit. The cough had appeared about 4 months into treatment. She had never made the connection. Once we identified the likely cause and worked with her primary doctor to switch to losartan, which targets a similar mechanism through a different door and does not produce this type of cough, the tickle in her throat was gone within 2 weeks. 11 months of disrupted sleep gone in 2 weeks. Once someone connected the dots, and this is critically important, I need to draw a very clear line here, because there is a symptom in the ACE inhibitor category that is not a nuisance. It is a medical emergency. If you are on lisinopril and you develop swelling of your lips, tongue, face, or throat, especially if swallowing or breathing becomes difficult, you do not wait. You do not call the office tomorrow. You do not take a Benadryl and see what happens. You call emergency services immediately. This condition is called angioedema. It is rare, but it is real, and it can close your airway faster than you expect. A dry cough is a nuisance. Throat swelling is an emergency. The gap between those two things is something I want you to remember forever. The losartan, the potassium pitfall. Now let's move to losartan, and the danger I find particularly striking because it doesn't come from doing something wrong. It comes from people doing what they believe is the right thing. Losartan, like lisinopril, works on the renin-angiotensin system, the body's blood pressure regulation pathway. One effect of this drug class is that it can raise potassium levels in the blood. For most people, this stays within a safe range when monitored appropriately. But when certain common lifestyle choices are layered on top, the picture changes. Here is where it gets counterintuitive. Potassium doesn't just come from bananas or supplements. It is hidden in products actively marketed as the healthier choice. Salt substitutes. Many popular low-sodium salt alternatives, the ones sold right next to regular table salt and often branded as heart healthy, replace sodium with potassium chloride. A senior who has been told to cut back on salt buys a potassium-based substitute, uses it liberally on every meal, and is now loading potassium into the system while taking a medication that already raises potassium. The combination can push potassium high enough to affect the electrical system of the heart. And here is what makes it dangerous. High potassium does not always announce itself loudly. It sometimes presents as unusual muscle weakness, persistent fatigue, a cramping sensation in the legs, tingling in the hands, or a fluttering, irregular heartbeat. Sometimes there are almost no symptoms at all, right up until there are serious ones. I want you to think about someone in your life right now, maybe yourself, who has switched to a salt substitute in the last year or two. If that person takes losartan or lisinopril, this is a conversation that needs to happen with a doctor. Not because the medication is dangerous in isolation, not because potassium-rich foods are evil, but because the combination, without awareness and monitoring, can create a slow-building problem that never needed to happen. Electrolyte powders, some meal replacement shakes, and certain over-the-counter sports recovery drinks also carry meaningful potassium loads. They are not prescription products. Nobody thinks to mention them, and that is exactly why they matter. ILMS, NSAIDs, and the kidney story. There is another scenario that doesn't get nearly enough airtime in conversations about blood pressure medications, and it directly affects seniors more than any other group. What happens to these drugs when you get sick? Not a serious illness, not hospitalization, just a bad stomach bug, a few days of vomit, diarrhea that won't quit, loss of appetite for a couple of days, or simply a hot week in summer with heavy sweating and not enough fluid intake. When you are dehydrated for any reason, the same dose of losartan or lisinopril that was perfectly calibrated for a well-hydrated body can act dramatically differently. Your blood pressure can fall too low. Your kidneys, which are already working harder due to fluid loss, become more vulnerable. Dizziness, weakness, faintness, or acute kidney strain can develop faster than most people expect. The medication didn't change. Your body's internal environment changed, and the drug is now operating in conditions it wasn't designed for. This is one of the most important practical things I can tell you today. Illness changes the rules, and if you don't have a plan for what to do when illness hits, whether to hold a dose, when to call the doctor, what symptoms should trigger a visit, you are leaving a real gap in your safety. That plan is something you should have from your prescribing doctor before you ever need it. If you don't have it, ask at your next appointment. What should I do with my blood pressure medication if I get a stomach virus or can't keep food and fluids down? It is one of the most important questions you can ask, and it is one of the least commonly asked. Here is another scenario worth visualizing. You're having a bad week, your arthritis flares, your knees ache, your back is stiff. You head to the drugstore and pick up ibuprofen, something you have used for years, perfectly ordinary, something anyone can buy off the shelf. Now you are taking lisinopril or losartan. Maybe you are also on a diuretic, a water pill, for extra fluid management. This combination, when used regularly, can meaningfully reduce blood flow to your kidneys, and in the context of even mild dehydration, the risk of kidney injury rises substantially. This is not a hypothetical rare scenario. It is one of the most common, most preventable situations I see, and the reason it slips through is simple. Patients do not think of ibuprofen, naproxen, or similar over-the-counter anti-inflammatory medications as real medications in the same category as prescriptions. They are just something from the drugstore, something for the pain. But your kidneys do not distinguish between prescription and over-the-counter products. They respond to chemistry. If you routinely use anti-inflammatory pain medications for arthritis, joint pain, or back pain, and you take any of these 3 blood pressure drugs, please have that conversation with your doctor. There are often safer alternatives, acetaminophen, topical treatments, physical therapy approaches, or other options that don't carry the same kidney risk. You don't have to simply endure the pain, and you don't have to silently accept the risk. There is usually a better path. You just need someone to help you find it. Dizziness, falls, and the practical adjustment. I want to spend a moment on something that sounds small and isn't. Dizziness, that brief wobbly moment when you stand up from the couch or get out of bed in the morning. The world tilts for a second. You grab the door frame, then it passes, and you go about your day thinking, I just got up too fast. For many seniors on blood pressure medications, this is a regular experience, and it is almost universally underreported because it seems too minor to mention. Here is what I need you to hear. In older adults, a few seconds of dizziness is enough to cause a fall, and a fall is enough to cause a fracture, and a fracture, particularly a hip fracture, can derail an older adult's health trajectory in ways that take years to recover from, if recovery happens at all. This isn't alarmism. This is physics and biology working together in a way that demands respect. The dizziness happens because your blood pressure medications are doing their job, lowering pressure. When you stand up quickly, your cardiovascular system hasn't had a moment to compensate. Blood pressure briefly drops. Blood flow to the brain momentarily decreases. You feel it as a lightheaded, tilting sensation. The fix is often simple. Rise slowly. Sit on the edge of the bed for a moment before standing. Hold on to something stable when getting up. Give your body a few extra seconds to catch up with the change in position. But beyond the practical adjustment, dizziness that happens regularly, dizziness that doesn't improve after the first few weeks on a medication, or an episode of near fainting, those are signals that deserve a real clinical conversation. The dose may need adjustment. The combination of medications may need review. Something in your hydration habits may need to change. Silence on this issue is not a small risk. Home blood pressure monitoring, patterns, not panic. Let me address something that creates enormous unnecessary anxiety and occasionally dangerous impulsive decisions for people managing blood pressure at home. Blood pressure is not a fixed number. It moves constantly throughout every hour of every day in response to dozens of variables. How well you slept, whether you had caffeine, if you are in pain, whether you are anxious about the reading itself, whether you just walked in from outside, whether you spoke loudly right before sitting down. A single high reading on a random Tuesday morning after poor sleep does not mean your medication is failing. A single low reading after you have been dehydrated on a hot day does not mean your medication is too strong. What matters is the pattern over time, measured consistently, the same arm, the same time of day, after 5 minutes of quiet rest, without rushing or talking. When people monitor inconsistently and react emotionally to individual readings, the decisions that follow are almost never good ones. Extra doses taken out of fear, skip doses because one reading looked good, frantic calls to the doctor about a number that in context was completely unremarkable. Monitor with a method, track over time, bring the log to your appointment. Let patterns, not panic, guide the conversation. That simple shift in approach reduces anxiety, improves decisions, and gives your doctor far more useful information than a single alarming screenshot from your home monitor. The sick day plan, a short question to take to your doctor. Here is a quick question for you. Has your doctor ever given you a sick day plan for your blood pressure medication? Drop a yes or no in the comments, because I have a feeling most of you will answer the same way. A sick day plan is simple. It is a written understanding between you and your prescriber of what to do with each medication in the days when you cannot eat or drink normally. For blood pressure drugs that affect fluid balance and kidney perfusion, which is what all three medications we've discussed today do, that plan prevents some of the worst outcomes I see in clinical practice. If your doctor has not raised it yourself. The questions worth collecting are these. Should I hold any of these if I am vomiting or have diarrhea lasting more than 24 hours? Which symptoms should prompt me to call? Which symptoms should send me to urgent care? At what blood pressure reading should I be concerned enough to reach out, rather than just repeating the measurement tomorrow? None of these questions are awkward. They are exactly the kind of proactive conversation that keeps older adults out of the emergency room and on the path they want to stay on. If you have made it this far and you are getting value from this, drop the number 9 in the comments. It is a simple way to let me know you are here and following along. A few things I want to leave with you. Amlodipine, losartan, and lisinopril are powerful cardiovascular medications. They all lower blood pressure, but they do it through 3 different mechanisms, and the side effects to watch for are different for each. Swelling and heaviness in the lower legs is most often an amlodipine signature. A persistent dry cough is most often a lisinopril signature. Rising potassium from salt substitutes or electrolyte drinks is most often a losartan and lisinopril risk. Dizziness on standing can come from any of the three, and it deserves attention because falls are not minor events in an older adult's life. The medication interactions people most often miss are ibuprofen and naproxen, dehydration during illness, and potassium-rich lifestyle choices layered on top of these prescriptions. None of these are reasons to panic about your medication. They are reasons to talk to the person who prescribed it, and to do that talking before a crisis appears rather than after one. These medications are not rescue medications. They are not designed to be taken reactively like a pain reliever after a headache appears. They work through a steady, consistent presence in your system. Extra doses taken when you are worried, or doses skipped because you feel fine, both destabilize that calibration. The conversation about whether your dose is right belongs with your physician on a scheduled visit with your blood pressure log in hand. If you are on one of these medications and you have recognized yourself in any of the symptoms I described today, that is not a sign to stop. or to change anything on your own. It is a sign to bring it up at your next appointment, or sooner if the symptom is severe. The point of this entire video is to help you walk into that conversation with more clarity, more confidence, and more useful vocabulary than you had 10 minutes ago. Hit like if this was helpful. Share it with a parent, a neighbor, or a friend who is on one of these medications and might benefit. Subscribe and turn on notifications every week. New evidence-grounded content exactly like this. Take care of yourselves and keep the conversation going with your doctor. I'll see you in the next one.